Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for taking time for yourself today. This is a really important subject: sleep deprivation and insomnia. Now, these are two different things which can cause some of the same problems. When you're not sleeping well, or sometimes not at all, this takes a toll on your entire being. It might start with, oh, I need an extra cup of coffee or a caffeine rush in the morning. Or you might find yourself being more irritated, to losing your thoughts more often, more headaches, muscle aches, leading to serious conditions such as anxiety, depression, and a number of other emotional and neurological conditions. So, overall, it's important to get a good amount of sleep on a regular basis. Okay, so just sleep more. Class over. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Perhaps you've heard a saying, "Oh, I slept like a baby." Well, I don't know about you, but my babies never slept, so I'm not quite sure where that saying came from. Mm, That was part of my problem, leading to my insomnia. People with insomnia have trouble sleeping even when they give themselves plenty of time to get to sleep. On the other hand, people with sleep deprivation don't have enough time allocated for sleep, and as a result, um, have sleep problems. You have to make the choice or schedule the opportunity for your body to rest and recharge from your everyday obligations. All right, now the recommended hours of sleep is for a regular adult is 7 to 9 hours. Now that those hours change during different stages of our life. Children should get much more hours of sleep a day. But for the standard adult, 7 to 9 hours. Now, I know you're saying, even when I give myself 7 hours to sleep, it takes my brain 2 hours to shut off. All right. I know that might seem daunting. Trust me, I get it. There were years where I didn't sleep more than 2 hours at a time, and I paid the price. But in the long run, if you can do this, it will be worth every ounce of effort you put into it. If you need to schedule it, meaning physically put sleep in your calendar, in your phone, on your paper calendar, wherever it is, it will improve every aspect of your life. Now, Healthline.com lists the effects of sleep deprivation. Now, this is just sleep deprivation as memory issues and trouble concentrating, quick and often surprising mood changes, a weakened immunity, high blood pressure, weight gain, low sex drive, poor balance, and many other things. All things that I am sure that none of us want to bring into our lives and certainly don't want to keep in our lives. Now, sleep deprivation is caused by a consistent lack of sleep or reduced quality of sleep. So, if I asked you what your basic needs are, think about that for a second. Somebody said, "Okay, what do you think the basic needs of a human being is?" You're probably thinking food, water, shelter, right? Which is true, but sleep is a part of your basic needs. Yes, you can survive on little to no sleep for quite some time, some of us, but in the end, you're going to literally lose your mind. And some signs to look out for are excessive sleepiness, frequent yawning, irritability, daytime fatigue, chronic sleep deprivation, meaning you just have not given yourself time to sleep for a very, very long time. But If that's the case, that can also lead to insomnia. Now, be it insomnia or sleep deprivation, you may also end up experiencing something called microsleep during the day. This is actually a really scary disorder. During these episodes, you'll fall asleep for a few to several seconds, and you won't even realize it. Meaning you could be behind the wheel when that's happening. Obviously, this is extremely dangerous. All right, get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Block that time in your calendar or phone as sleepy time. Okay? It's part of self-care, part of mental health, good mental health, and part of healthy living. This way you don't schedule, if you schedule this in your paper calendar or phone calendar, you won't schedule anything else during that time. But saying this is easier said than done, right? Because if this has been going on for more than a year, more than a few weeks, you may need to have some help from a doctor. If need be, you may need, your doctor may say, hey, you need to do a sleep study and be diagnosed with a number of things. One might be obstructive sleep or sleep apnea, narcolepsy, restless leg syndrome. My kids call it reckless leg syndrome because they get kicked in the night. Insomnia, circadian rhythm disorders, and I could go on and on. Now, WebMD.com has a few recommendations for herbal remedies, which, of course, we all know I am very supportive of. If you choose to use one of these, use as directed. And remember that herbal remedies work differently for different people, which means one may work for you, but it may not work for your brother or your sister, or your neighbor might use something else and says, hey, try this. And you do. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That does not work for me. It's because your body works differently than theirs. Sometimes you have to combine herbs in order for them to work better for you. Now, me personally, I take melatonin every night, and so do my children. Unfortunately, they inherited my overactive brain. Now, preventative actions may be useful for you. According to healthline.com, you can try going to bed at the same time every day, even on the weekends, creating a sleep schedule for yourself. Or do a routine of meditating or breathing relaxations before bed. Definitely 100% turn off your electronics before you go to bed. And even better, don't even plug them in your room. Okay, you don't need that nighttime crank call from the people trying to sell you solar panels. You don't need that. And reduce your alcohol use late at night and reduce your caffeine intake earlier in the evening. Those are all preventative measures. Now, Psychology Today states, quote, we can liken insomnia to a food allergy or a gastrointestinal condition that prevents one from absorbing nutrients appropriately or makes one ill while trying to eat. A solution for food allergy or a GI condition is to regiment one's diet so as to avoid certain types of food. Unquote. Now, a solution to insomnia? Well, to regiment when and for how long one is allowed to sleep could be a solution. Or, also, the Mayo Clinic says that some signs to look out for include difficulty falling asleep at night, waking up during the night frequently, waking up too early, not feeling well rested after a night's sleep. That's one of my problems still. Daytime tiredness or sleepiness, irritability, depression or anxiety, difficulty paying attention, focusing on tasks, or remembering increased errors or accidents, ongoing worries about sleep. All of these things are signs and symptoms of insomnia. Continuing on some information from the Mayo Clinic, saying that some causes of insomnia are stress, concerns about work, school, or your health, finances, or your family can keep your mind active at night. And these things obviously are going to make it difficult for you to sleep. Stressful life events or traumas, such as deaths or illnesses of a loved one, divorce, job loss, all these things can also lead to insomnia. Your travel or work schedule, especially if you travel for work. I did that for a few years. That can be difficult on your circadian rhythms, which are supposed to be your internal natural clock guiding you to things such as your sleep-wake cycle. Your metabolism, your body temperature, disrupting your body's circadian rhythms can all lead to insomnia. Jet lag is a good lead in causes of insomnia when you're traveling over multiple time zones back and forth within the same week. Poor sleep habits, including an irregular bedtime schedule. We heard that before with sleep deprivation. Naps, taking too many naps or a nap too late in the day. Or if you're doing stimulating activities before bed, sex is not considered a stimulating activity. And an uncomfortable sleep environment, using your bed for work, eating, or watching TV, those are all no-nos. Having a computer, a TV, video games, smartphones other than screens just before bed can interfere with your sleep cycle. If you eat too much too late in the evening, that can also increase causes of insomnia. Having a light sleep right before bed is okay, but eating too much may cause you to feel physically uncomfortable while lying down. Many people experience heartburn if they eat a large amount of food shortly before they go to bed. And that heartburn can cause a backflow of acid from your stomach back up into your esophagus, which can lead to other physical ailments. Chronic insomnia may also be associated with medical conditions under certain use of certain drugs. But treating a medical condition may help improve sleep, but the insomnia may persist even after your medical condition improves. Now, how can we, if you don't think you have insomnia, let's try some prevention, right? So, number one, keep your bedtime and wake time consistent every day. So even if you say, oh, I only slept like 1 hour last night, I'm going to go to bed super early tonight. Still don't do that. Keep it consistent from day to day, even on the weekends. Staying active is really important. Regular activity helps promote a good night's sleep. Check your medications to see if they might be contributing to symptoms of insomnia or even sleep deprivation. Avoid or even, limit or avoid your naps. Sometimes naps are just the most amazing thing in the whole world. I get that. But if you're going to do a nap, try not to do it late in the afternoon. Limit or even avoid caffeine and alcohol, and don't use nicotine. Large meals and caffeinated or high sugar content beverages right before bedtime. No. Let's not do that. Make your bed comfortable. Make your bedroom comfortable for sleep. And you should only be using your bed and bedroom for sleep and sex. Now, creating a relaxing bedtime ritual can seem like, oh gosh, I don't have time to do one more thing. But it's one of those, put the time and effort into it and you'll learn to love it kind of thing. Take a warm bath before you go to bed, even if it's just 10 minutes. Okay? Add those nice fluffy bubbles in there. Get a good book. Read a little bit. Or listening to softer, relaxing music. Now, of course, we all know what music is going to help us relax and what music is going to stir those emotions that we don't want to have a feeling right before we go to bed. Sleepfoundation.org states, quote, a chronic insomnia treatment regimen typically includes at least one behavioral intervention, which often takes the form of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, which is CBTI, and prevention interventions. They go on to say, if therapy and other behavioral interventions are not effective, your doctor may recommend some form of sleep medication, unquote. Now, we talked about preventions on the previous slide, and I would encourage you to reach out to your PCP, therapist, or psychologist to consider appropriate treatments for yourself. Now, as you've heard, the reactions that your body have to sleep deprivation and insomnia are very similar, and the prevention measures are very similar, but you will need to do different things to get different results depending on whether you have deprivation or insomnia. Now, keeping that in mind, that if you have practiced sleep deprivation for an extended period of time, meaning you haven't given yourself adequate number of hours to sleep week upon week upon week, you may now have insomnia, and that's something that you need to consider. All right. I know that was a lot of information to throw at you, but you can always watch this class again if you need to go back through those slides. Thank you for choosing you today. Thank you for finding time to become the person you want to be. Now, if you are ready to make a change in your life and you want help to create a plan specific to your needs and would like someone to coach you along, I'm ready for you. When you're ready, go to my blog and click in the coaching tab for a free consultation. Then we can make a plan to set your goals into motion. And make sure you reference my resources pages on my blog. Go to my homepage and you'll see one under resources for mental health, self-care, and healthy living. There's a lot of good information in there. You can also find me on these social media sites, and feel free to email me with questions. I love it when I hear from you guys. If you like this class, you're going to find a lot more on my YouTube channel. Your support and subscribing helps me to be able to continue to provide these free classes. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kathleen Ann Unshamed. These are the sources that are cited in each of the pages, each of the slides in this class. Feel free to use them if you would like more information.